बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। इमाम गज़ाली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह फरमाते हैं कि हर सआदत की कुंजी चौकना रहना और समझ से काम करना है। हर किस्म की बख्ती का चश्मा गुरूर और गफलत है। As the Shaykhul Hadith Imam Zakir rahmatullah alayh, before Ramadan, we were commenting on a hadith in which Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that the wise person is he who recognizes his nafs and he carries out actions for that which comes after death. And the incapable one is the one who follows his nafs, who allows his nafs to follow its desires, and then he has hope upon Allah Almighty. And in that hadith, as the Shaykh rahmatullah alayh, he does a lot of commentary. On the second page of on the third page of the commentary, he talks about Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh. He says that the key to every type of happiness is to be aware. और समझ से काम करना है, and to do things with understanding. और हर किस्म की बदबख्ती का चश्मा गुरूर और गफलत है. And he says that the fountain of every type of misfortune is gurur, yani being proud, and ghaflat, and also at the same time being not mindful of Allah Almighty. Yani happiness lies in being aware of the nafs, understanding it, and everything that a person does, he does in measurement with understanding. And misfortune actually lies, the fountain of it lies in pride. When a person is full of himself, then he does things which actually ruins things. And then he also, at the same time, the other thing that he says is ghaflat, and being not mindful of one's responsibilities, not mindful of what Allah Almighty requires from us, not mindful of the outcome of what our actions could possibly be. हक़ ताला शानों का कोई एहसान ईमान और मारिफत से बढ़कर नहीं है. He says that the favor of Allah Almighty, there is nothing greater than iman, faith and marifat, and in being recognizing Allah Almighty. उनके लिए कोई ज़रिया उसके सिवा नहीं कि हक़ ताला शान बसीरत के नूर के साथ दिल में इंशरा पैदा कर दे. और उनके लिए कोई ज़रिया इसके सिवा, there is nothing, there is no way in order to gain these things, yani iman and marifat, except that the light of basirat from Allah Almighty enters into our hearts. हक़ ताला शानों का कोई अज़ाब कुफ़र और मासियत से बढ़कर नहीं. And there is no punishment greater greater punishment of Allah Almighty than kufr, and disbelief and masiyat and disobedience. उसका मुहर्रिक सिर्फ ये है, and the thing that activates a person is only कि जहालत की जुल्मत से दिल की आँख अंधी हो जाए. That due to the darkness of ignorance, the eye of the heart, the insight of the heart becomes blind. बस समझदार और बसीरत वाले लोगों के दिल ऐसे है. Then he says that those people who have understanding, who have insight, their hearts are such जैसा किसी ताक में निहायत रोशन चिराग बिजली का कमका रखा हुआ हो. That inside a niche in the wall is a niche to place a candle or something. An extremely enlightened, bright chirag, and a lantern is placed there. जिसकी मिसाल कुरान पाक की आयत है, which has been described by Allah Almighty in the Quranic verse, कमिश्कातिन फ़ीहा मिस्बाह, yani like the niche, the lantern in which there is the niche within which there is a lantern. और गुरूर में पड़े हुए लोगों के दिल ऐसे हैं, and those people who have gurur, they're full of themselves, they have pride, they look at themselves, they're just worried about themselves, nothing else. जैसा कि बहुत सी तारीकियों में कोई शख्स हो कि कोई चीज़ उसको नज़र नहीं आती. That person is inside some great darkness and he can't see anything. And if you want to see perfect darkness, then on cold winter's night, when the sun sets, after the sunset, if you go into Avon Park, you can't see in front of you. When there's cloudy outside, it's dark as well, you can't even see your hand in front of you. And it is described in the Quran Kareem, كَظُلُمَاتِ فِي بَحْرِ لُجِّيٍّ يَغْشَاهُ till the end of the verse. That जब ये मालूम हो गया कि गुरूर ही असल सर चश्मा हलाकत का है, now then he says that when it's understood that pride is the asal and gurur and being full of oneself is actually the fountain of every type of destruction, तो उसकी थोड़ी सी तफसील मालूम होने की ज़रूरत है. So you need to know some detail about this ताकि उससे एहतिमाम से बचा सके, so that a person can avoid himself from gurur. गुरूर की मजम्मत कुरान पाक और हदीस में कसरत से वारिद हुई है. The gurur and pride and being full of oneself has been plentifully explained, and it's been described in a negative way within the Quran Kareem and the Hadith. Uzaq sallallahu alaihi wasallam ka pak irshad hai, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam says beautifully कि समझदार शख्स वो है, that the understanding person is that person जो अपने नफ्स को काबू में रखे, who takes his nafs under control. मरने के बाद के लिए अमल करता रहे, and for the action for what's going to happen after death, he carries out actions. और अहमक वो शख्स है, and the foolish person is that person जो अपने नफ्स की ख्वाहिशात का इत्तिबा करे, who follows the desires of his nafs, Allah Jalla Shan पर तमन्नाएं करे, and then at the same time he has hope in Allah Almighty. He drinks, but then he has hope in Allah Almighty. He carries out guna and sins, but then he hopes in Allah Almighty. He lets his nafs loose, but then he keeps hope in front of Allah Almighty. हादीस में जहल के मुतालिक जितनी मज़म्मतें वाइद आई, वो सारे गुरूर पर भी सादिक आती है. He then says that inside the hadith, all the descriptions, the negative descriptions regarding ignorance that have been explained, and all the warnings about this that have come, can also be fit quite appropriately on gurur and this type of pride. इसलिए कि गुरूर जहल से पैदा होता है. Why? Because this pride comes from ignorance. बल्कि जहली का जुज़ है. Rather, it's a part of jahl. अगरचे हर जहल गुरूर नहीं, even though every type of ignorance is not pride, लेकिन हर गुरूर जहल ज़रूर है, but every type of pride and being infatuated with oneself is definitely from ignorance. उनमें सबसे बड़ा हुआ जहल व गुरूर कुफ़ार और फासिक फाजिर लोगों का है. This is the greatest type of ignorance and pride is in those people who are disbelievers and those people that are fasik and fajir. जो कहते हैं कि दुनिया नकद है, इस वक्त मौजूद है. These are the people that say that the dunya is in cash, it's in front of you right now, it's present. आखिरत उधार है, आखिरत is afterwards, it's there in afterwards. बाद को आने वाली है, it's going to come later. और नकद, and then he says in Farsi, और नकद राब निसिया गुज़ाशितन कारखर मंदा निस्त. नकद को उधार पर छोड़ना समझदारों का काम है. And then they say, as is mentioned in Farsi, that to नकद का उधार पर छोड़ना, to abandon something that's in front of you, yani what's in cash in front of you, समझदार in exchange of something that's later, yani it's in credit, it's going to come out afterwards, we don't know if it's going to come. समझदारों का काम नहीं, it's not the way of the understanding, those with insight. Yani one in the hand is better than two in the bush. Let's live for the day and forget about the hereafter. ये ख्याल इंतहाई बेवकूफ़ी या जहालत है. He says, Hazrat Sheikh says, that this view is extreme ignorance and stupidity and ignorance. ये कायदा वहाँ है जहाँ नक़द और दार बराबर हो. He says that rule applies at that place where नक़द, यानी what's in cash and what's in credit is equal. कोई चीज़ नक़द 1 रुपया में फ़रोख्त होती हो, उधार 100 रुपये में जाती हो, वह कोई अहमक भी ये ना कहेगा कि नक़द को उधार पर न छोड़ना चाहिए. As the Sheikh says that, if there's something, it's being sold for 1 rupee, but then if you were to take it on credit, then you have to end up paying 100 rupees later. Then even not even the greatest of foolish people will tell you that abandon what's in cash, leave the cash price for the credit price. हालांकि दुनिया की नकद लज्जतों के आखिरत के मुकाबले में कोई निस्बत ही नहीं. Then he says that when you compare the dunya to the akhirat, the taste and the flavor and the enjoyment of the immediate enjoyment of the dunya, it can't be compared to the immediate to the enjoyment of the hereafter. दुनिया की ज़िंदगी किसी शख्स की अगर हो सकती है तो 100 डेढ़ 100 बरस. He says that if a person's life was to live in the world, he might live to 100 or to maybe to 150. उस मुद्दत को आखिरत की भी ख़त्म न होने वाली मुद्दत के साथ क्या निस्बत हो सकती है? If you compare this with the life of the hereafter, which is everlasting, what comparison is there? इसी तरह कोई तबीब किसी बीमार को एक फल से मनाफत करता है और मोहलिक बताता है, लेकिन बीमार कभी ये नहीं कह सकता कि इस फल के खाने की लज़्ज़त नकद है और सेहत उदार है. He says likewise, if a doctor says to a person that if you eat this fruit, and he tells him don't eat this fruit, it's going to destroy you, it's going to kill you. लेकिन the बीमार person, the ill person will never say कि the taste and the enjoyment of this fruit is in cash, I'm going to get it straight away. और सेहत उदार है, whereas my health is in credit, लिहाजा नकद को उधार पर न छोड़ना चाहिए. And then he wouldn't apply the same rule as mentioned before on that. इसी तरह बाज़ बेवकूफ़ कहते हैं, likewise, as the Sheikh then mentions, that some foolish people say कि दुनिया की मज़रत तकलीफ़ यकीनी है. Inshallah we'll carry on from there later. But the point of the matter is, as the Sheikh Rahmatullah alayhi here is driving the point forward, and he carries on driving the point forward for a number of pages after this, that al-kayyisu man dana nafsahu, that the wise person is the one who recognizes his nafs. Yeah. وَعَمِلَ لِمَا بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ, and then he carries out actions for that which comes after death. And the foolish person or the person who's incapable is the person who follows he allows his nafs to he allows his nafs to follow its desires, and then he has hopes on Allah Almighty. And the best way to bring the nafs under control, our mashaykh say, is to oppose the nafs, and to first of all recognize what the nafs is, and then at the same time after that oppose the nafs and bring it under some sort of control. If a person brings the nafs under control, then deen becomes very easy, and then he's actually working for the hereafter. So some of the mashaykh say that going against the nafs, what does that mean? Depriving it a bit of food. Those things that you like, those things are permissible that you like, you deprive it a little bit here and there. You let it enjoy itself, but don't let it enjoy itself too much. When it comes to sleep, controlling the sleep, maybe fasting a little bit, but bringing your nafs under control. And once the nafs becomes under control, then deen becomes even easier, because then the nafs doesn't oppose you and doesn't cause a barrier between you and your bandagi and your ibadah to Allah Almighty. May Allah Almighty give us the tawfiq to act upon this. Inshallah, we'll carry on next week. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Inshallah, be zikr for a few minutes, and that's it, inshallah. Jazakallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah, 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 Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. La ilaha illallah, 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 la ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah, 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 la ilaha illallah. Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah, 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 la ilaha illallah. Sayyiduna wa nabiyyuna wa habibuna wa shafi'una وسندنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. لا إله إلا الله، 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 لا إله إلا الله. محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. إلا الله 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 illallah, 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 illallah. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah, 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 Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, jazakallah next week.